The diner smelled of fresh coffee and fried bacon, a place where regulars found comfort and strangers found warmth. It was the kind of small-town eatery where every face was familiar, where laughter echoed over clinking plates, and where gossip traveled faster than the speed of light. But on one stormy evening, something happened that would change everything for one young waitress, a moment so unfair, so humiliating, that it left her questioning her worth. Yet what unfolded the very next day would leave not only her, but the entire town, utterly speechless. Friends, before I take you into this unforgettable story of injustice, resilience, and the power of compassion, I want to ask you something from the bottom of my heart. If you believe in kindness, in giving people second chances, and in the strength of doing what is right no matter the odds, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps keep these stories alive, stories that remind us all what really matters in this world. Her name was Emily Carter. At just 24, Emily carried a weight most people never saw. She was a single mother raising a 5-year-old boy named Daniel, a bright-eyed child who still believed the world was full of magic. Emily had dreams once, of becoming a nurse, of building a better life for herself and her son, but those dreams had been pushed aside by the grind of survival. She worked long hours at Miller's Diner, juggling late-night shifts with school runs and bedtime stories. To the regulars, she was more than just a waitress. She was a beacon of light, always greeting them with a tired but genuine smile. But that night, the air inside the diner grew tense when the door swung open, letting in the unmistakable sound of heavy boots and the growl of motorcycles outside. A group of bikers walked in, leather jackets, tattoos, rough exteriors that made some customers uneasy. Conversations lowered, forks paused mid-air, and eyes shifted uncomfortably. Emily noticed the wary glances, but she also noticed something else. Behind the hardened faces, she saw men who looked weary, men who were simply hungry. She grabbed her notepad, straightened her apron, and walked toward them. While others might have turned away or judged them instantly, Emily treated them like anyone else. She served them with respect, even cracking a small joke that made one of the men chuckle, a sound that broke the tension like glass shattering. The bikers ate quietly, paid generously, and left without trouble. But the next morning, the gossip had spread. Some of the diner's wealthier regulars had complained to the owner, claiming that Emily's kindness to that type of crowd made them feel unsafe. Mr. Miller, the diner's owner, was a man who valued his reputation above all else. Without giving Emily a chance to explain, he fired her on the spot. The news hit Emily like a punch to the chest. Losing this job wasn't just about losing income, it was about losing the fragile stability she had built for Daniel. Rent was already overdue, and her fridge was nearly empty. As she walked out of the diner that morning, her apron folded in her arms, she held her tears back until she was far enough away that no one could see. She whispered to herself that she would figure it out somehow, but deep down, fear gnawed at her. That night, Emily tucked Daniel into bed with a smile, telling him everything would be okay, even as she stared at the overdue bills piled on the kitchen counter. She felt like the world had turned its back on her for doing something she thought was right, treating strangers with dignity. What Emily didn't know was that her small act of kindness inside the diner had not gone unnoticed. The next day, as the morning sun rose over the quiet streets, Emily heard the unmistakable rumble of motorcycles outside her small apartment. She froze, heart racing, as she peeked out the window. Parked along the curb were the same bikers she had served the night before. For a moment, panic flashed through her mind. What did they want? She opened the door cautiously, only to find one of the men holding a grocery bag in his hands. He introduced himself as Jack, the leader of their motorcycle club. His voice, though deep and rough, carried sincerity. Jack explained that they had overheard what happened, that she had been fired because she chose to treat them like human beings. They were furious, not at her, but at the injustice. Jack handed her the groceries, insisting that no one who showed that kind of kindness should ever go hungry. Behind him, the other bikers carried bags as well, filled with food, essentials, even toys for Daniel. Emily's eyes welled up with tears. For the first time in days, she felt seen, valued, and not alone. But their kindness didn't stop there. Word of Emily's firing began to spread across the town, not just through gossip this time, but through the voices of those bikers who told everyone what really happened. People who had once judged the bikers started to listen. Local families, touched by the story, began standing up for Emily. A petition circulated demanding her reinstatement. By the end of the week, dozens of townsfolk gathered outside Miller's diner in protest. And standing at the front of the crowd were those very bikers, leather jackets gleaming under the sun, holding signs that read, "Justice for Emily." Mr. Miller, faced with a wave of public outrage, tried to save face by offering Emily her job back. But by then, something inside her had changed. Emily realized she didn't need to beg for crumbs at a table where she was never respected. She turned down the offer, her voice steady, her heart firm. With the support of the bikers and the community, Emily started her own small cafe, a place where everyone, no matter who they were or how they looked, would be welcomed. The bikers became her most loyal customers, often bringing in new faces and protecting her cafe's reputation. Slowly but surely, her cafe became a haven, a symbol of what kindness can build. Emily's story became more than just a tale of one woman's struggle. It became a reminder to an entire town, and eventually to everyone who heard about it, that kindness costs nothing but changes everything. That standing up for what's right might cost you in the short term, but in the end, it will always be worth it. And friends, if this story touched your heart even a little, if Emily's courage, the bikers' unexpected compassion, and the community's awakening reminded you of the power of humanity, please like this video, share it with someone who might need a little hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Stories like this deserve to be heard, because they prove that good still exists in this world. Before we end, I have one special request for you. Comment below and tell us, do you believe that one small act of kindness can truly change someone's life? Your words might inspire someone who really needs it today.